All right, let me say hello and welcome to each and every one of you. Doug here with the all-new Trading with Doug. Man, it feels so weird to say after years of just spitting out the Lincoln list. I had to do like 10 takes here because I just wanted to say Doug with the Lincoln list. So anyway, the all-new Trade with Doug is up. Don't forget, today is the last day of the celebration of the new Trade with Doug with all new features, both day trading, swing trading, momentum trading, options trading, positions trading. No matter what kind of trader you are, we can help you there. I'll post the link here up on the screen about those. Also, I'm proud to announce that not only have I changed my name, but now I have a patron. So you guys that want to just show your support for this channel, show your support for the new Trading with Doug. I'll be posting exclusive content for patrons. There's a lot of different information about that. I'm not going to waste the time here on that tape. But down there in the comment box, down in the description box, excuse me, will be a detailed link that take you to the patron page. All new services and everything, all new great stuff there. So no matter what level you're on, I'm here to help you guys get educated and learn to be better traders, better financiers, just better overall with money. And that's a good thing. So let's talk about the market here. We got a couple of other stocks that we're going to talk about as well. As always, let me begin with the SPY. And I will say, it is a never-ending grind. It is a never-ending grind, and this thing is just laying up there right at the breakout point. You just feel this is ready to uncork another up leg. And it just feels like the more this thing goes on, the more people want to short, the more people just can't believe what they're seeing in times of such uncertainty, more coronavirus lockdowns, deaths, craziness going on around the world, people rioting, staying home. Doesn't matter. It does not matter. Here you are. You got all-time highs, 364.38. The market closes at like 360, 367. Don't quote me on that. I'm squinting here because I'm looking at a small screen and the old eyes are starting to go. But you're sitting right here. I would find it really hard to believe that this doesn't just bust through that. Now, here's the thing, though. We've talked about the market likes to play games and be the old trickery thing. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the customary gap up on Sunday night futures and then into Monday. That seems like the way to do it, right? Gap above that rather than just maybe selling off first and then breaking through that. Anyway, I think you're going to see that move, and maybe you're going to see something that gets a little closer to 370. Now, I did do a video a couple of weeks ago when I talked about, maybe it was last week actually, about how I thought the Dow would get rejected for 30K. And I was wrong about that. And the reason I want to talk a little bit about that is I'm not here always saying that every call that I have is the right call, because I've been wrong on this one. I have been wrong on this. I'm going to put the YMs up here. Not terribly wrong. I mean, it did get a whiff of this 30K. Actually, it closed above 30,000, got to 30,165. But it just doesn't look like it's ready to roll over just yet. I mean, we'll all know when that time comes, but I've been around for a long time. This will set up one day as a good short, as will the markets. But right now, I just don't think we're ready for that. It just doesn't appear, but this could happen at any time, at any given moment. We are cycling through different types of rotation, but that's just the way it is. Now, out of these indices, if I could just comment real quickly, the Qs have the best look. And I'll tell you what's interesting about the Qs here. As we were going through this, I'm going to use air quotes back here. I know you can't see me today because I'm sparing you the consequences of looking at my aged face on film. But the thing about the Qs is there was some sort of sector money rotation. When the coronavirus vaccine talk came out, you remember the markets just went like, bonsai straight up, just absolute banana nutness, right? And everybody was diving into these travel stocks, these businesses that just got scorched during the original coronavirus correction. Excuse me, I'm getting stuttered here with my words. And it kind of set the back seat here for most of these tech names, because if you remember, things like ZM, things like Peloton, these other stocks really were beneficial during this time. All the stay-at-home plays just got absolutely destroyed. Now, quietly, the Qs are just, money's coming back into tech. And look at this chart. I mean, this thing is, again, it's ready to get back up to the 303.50s. And as I'm looking at through these charts, again, technical analysis is not holy grail. But I tell you what, it does not look like right now we're done. Regardless of what's being thrown at this market, there's still money being piled into it. So we have to stay on this side for right now. So right now, all of the SPY, the Dow, the Qs, they all look like they have more in them. And I think we will see a correction. 5-10% soon. But this is probably not the time right now. It'll come when it's ready. Just go with the flow, especially you new traders out there. The market does whatever it wants. Our job as traders is to adapt, okay? And this is where a lot of people go wrong over years of trading is your bias that you get in your mind. And I've done videos on this before. You get a bias in your mind. It's okay to have a bias. It's okay to say, I want a short, I want a long, but you got to understand when you're wrong at something. This is why I'm bringing it up. I had an idea to short the Dow, dabbled a little bit there. I said, you know what, this thing just isn't ready. I was a week or two off. I don't have time to complain about it. I just got to move on, get on the right side of the trend and make bank. That's what my job is. But I think you're coming there, but right now I don't see this happening. Now, there are some names I think have some interesting setup, and I'm going to focus a little bit on, let's say, what they call the stay-at-home stocks. And the first thing I want to look here at is Netflix. I mean, this to me has the potential to be the trade of the week, and I'll tell you why. I actually did not see this, which surprised me, but this is about 12 to 13 trading sessions of absolute sideways action. Now, if you go back and you look at Netflix, I can't even see here when you've had that much consolidation. Maybe back here all the way at the beginning of the year, back in June. But for the rest of this thing, the things are going either straight up or it's going straight down. But look at this base that has been built since the summer. This thing has been rock solid in the 467s. Look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attempts at this. I mean, this is mega support. So for you guys out there that are learning technical analysis, the further that you go back in time, the more important these levels are. So when you're talking about breaking down a level that's 6-7 months old, it's a big deal. Breaking out of a level that's 6-7 months old is a big deal. What you're seeing with this stock is one that has refused to sell off. Now you've been trading sideways. And like I said, I don't remember the last time Netflix traded sideways. And here it came up Friday, just working on this couple of week range here. I'm looking at 496 to make the math even. If this thing moves through 496, it's going to go parabolic. The chances of this thing just coming back up here and starting to put in a multiple day rally is significantly high. I'm surprised that this thing has basically been left for dead here, like the algos have forgot, but I think they're going to figure this out. And I think if this thing breaks that 496, it has some mega potential to easily toss through 500, maybe get back up to 560. And this is what we've seen with these stocks, that once they start breaking out, they just do not stop. You will not be afforded another entry. So like a TTD is a good one here. It's another thing. You're looking at some sideways action right here. But as soon as this thing breaks out, I mean, look at it. It's just unstoppable at that point, and everybody gets priced out and they start FOMO trading it. So I think you might see something not quite this huge, but you're going to see a pretty powerful move on Netflix, especially if it moves across that level. Also, I want to come back. I'm should I say embarrassed? Don't make fun of me. Peloton. I'm like Dougie Peloton. I used to be Doug Digley. For you guys who've been around for a while, you remember the stock Digley, DGLY. I'm not even going to go down that road. It was just a joke we had in the room for the longest time. Doug Digley. I'm now Dougie Peloton, because I've had this stock ever since it was in the 20s. I'm obviously in love with it. I don't own a bike. I'm never going to buy one of those highly expensive bikes, but whatever. The thing makes me money, so I love it. It's turned into one of the best stocks I've ever traded in my life. I bought back into some, obviously. You can just assume this. Just assume I will always have some Peloton in some account somewhere forever, right? Unless really something drastic happens, like Apple. I'll always have some of that somewhere. I always have some Peloton. But I even trade this and I swing it. I think you might see the same thing. You've got a lot of sideways action. And remember, this was the violence here that happened after the original coronavirus vaccine. Remember, all these things got hit: Docu, ZM, Peloton, anything that was closely, anything that got sympathy during the lockdowns, that was a benefactor of the run-up, got sold off. And then I think you're going to see this thing try to at least move about 113. I think there's some trades in between the price that you have now and the 113. The real key here is just like I showed you with Netflix. If this upper range breaks, I would not be surprised to see this thing move closer to 130s and maybe even back up to this 140 area that was the all-time high. Just like Netflix, just like I showed you with TTD, these things do not give you a second entry. They just not give you another opportunity. Once they take off, they're just gone. You saw this with stuff like DraftKings. Let me put this trade, DKNG. They're selling off for what seems like an eternity, then it just up and runs. And I think you're going to see that something with the Peloton. So two favorite plays, obviously, starting the week is Netflix, Peloton. I like these. Now, there's a couple other ones. We've been talking about the old King Baba. This was at one time my favorite. Remember, that's how I got the name King Baba. And I know some of you have asked, did you forget about Baba? No, it just never really set up after that. And there was a bunch of other things going on. But, you know, it came off of its selling here. It's holding the 10-day moving average here. I think there's a little bit more room up here to about 302 on this one. The problem, obviously, here is it's Chinese. And they seem to be on this thing where they are just coming after companies. They're like investigating every company. They're on a roll here. And it's like with the IPO issue that they had, it's just, you just don't know what you're going to get there. And that's kind of the wild card in this whole thing. And you guys out there that are trading, I mean, NIO's another stock that's done really well. But don't forget, that's what it is. And anytime legislation in another country can cause significant damage to stocks and happen very quickly, especially when they've run up. So going in, I mean, there's a lot of other things here. I think you're going to see some bounces out of things like Lulu and DEC and a couple of other of these stocks. However, when Thinkorswim decides to pull up a chart with you, you guys will be so blessed to say, there it is. Thank you very much. I think you're going to see these. But for me, the two important stocks I want to look at is Netflix and Peloton going into tomorrow, and maybe mess around with this BABA. I think from the EV side, I know all of these stocks are the flavor of the month. But what you guys have to understand as well, I'm just going to pass this on. I'm not hating. I'm just saying. Every year, you have a little sector that just gets overhyped, you know, and there's normally a leader in that sector, such as Tesla's going to be the leader, and Tesla is always going to be Tesla. Then these other stocks, you know, like a NIO, like FSR, you know, I don't care what the theory is behind the fundies and all that stuff or the future, but not every one of these are going to rise to the top. Not every one of these are going to last, but it's like the marijuana stocks. Everybody bought a bunch of marijuana stocks, and there's a bunch of sympathy in there, like the rare earth stocks that came before that. So EV stocks are the hot thing right now. Ride it while it can, but never forget what you are in. That also tells you the story about BABA. Ride the wave while you can. Ride the momentum while you can, but never forget what you are in. Know what you own, guys, especially if you're holding this stuff overnight. If you're day trading, don't worry about it. Just trade what you see and don't worry about the ticker. Doesn't matter. But if you are holding these positions, remember, know what you own. Know what you're getting yourself into and know what your goals are. So I'm going to leave it at that. Don't forget, guys, the Black Friday, let's just call it the holiday special, ends today. The all-new Trading with Doug is now up. The website should be completed in the next couple of days. I've already talked about that. And don't forget the patrons. Just you guys want to show your support for this channel and help me keep me motivated. Keep me motivated and keep these videos coming. Got a lot of great things coming up here. Make sure you visit me anytime. Leave your comments down there. Until next time, guys, trade well. Talk to you soon.